welcome to Mediumship by Picasso. My name is Picasso Roberts. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping in. I hope while you're here, you could do me a favor and just hit the subscribe and like button if you like this video. If you don't like the video, don't worry about it. But if you could at least support by hitting the subscribe button, I would certainly appreciate it. It's been several weeks since I put up a video, so I'm just trying to find that balance between the day job and the mediumship job and all of that. So what I'm finding out recently is that I'm not as tired when I step into mediumship as I thought I was going to be after working a full day of, the day job stuff at the bed and breakfast that I'm working at. So we're just going to keep stepping into it and see what happens. I really enjoy some of the feedback that I'm getting with regards to the channel. I'm super appreciative of everybody who's stuck around. And if you could, while you're here, if you could share, that would be great. You never know when a message comes through that somebody else needs, and you don't even realize it just by talking to somebody about it or sharing it. It can help somebody out. You never know. So I sat down a little while ago just trying to figure out what are we doing today. I'm going to do a card pull. I'm only going to pull from my deck, and that's the I'm no angel, but I'm trying deck. I'll do that in just a little bit here. But I'm being guided to or led to talk about spirit animals. And they've been actually coming in a lot for people around me. They come in for me all the time. I don't take that for granted. I make sure that I try to understand the whys and the whats when an animal crosses my path. I appreciate their energy, even if it's something that I maybe don't want to bond with, like a snake or a rat or something like that. I appreciate the energy that it brings forward. It's really interesting. And I'm going to go into it here in just a second, but the guests that come in to the bed and breakfast that I work at, they're all coming in with their stuff, their emotional stuff, their little bits of baggage here and there, the support they may need, the support they don't want, just all kinds of stuff. So recently we had a couple in, they were in on their anniversary. It was crowded. We had a lot of people in that bed and breakfast. And this particular couple was that I chatted with, they were on their anniversary trip. And they were having such trouble with her fear of spiders. Now look, we're in Florida. There is every critter, bug, crawly thing known to man in Florida. It's swampland. Even if you're not on the water, it is still swampland. And we have all kinds of crawly things. And so a couple of nights in a row, she kept seeing a spider at nighttime. Well, there's a message there. And if it keeps coming back, you're not listening to the message, or, you're allowing fear to step in. And that's exactly what was happening. She was such a sweetheart, but worried about everything. Worry. And the fear, if you focus in on the fear of something, you can call it in, you can manifest it more. So if that ever happens to you where something is in your space that you really don't want, you would appreciate it not being there, then focus on the letting go of it. Turn your focus not on the fear of it, but on what it's doing there, and then releasing. So anyway, it's really interesting. I tried to talk to her about that, but she was very fearful. She listened, but bless her heart, she was scared. So I'm going to talk about the message that the spider brings. Let me just have a sip quick. Oh, and then I'm drinking from my turtle cup, so I'll probably talk about a little bit about what the turtle is. All right, so One of the things, I have a handful of books that I refer to all the time. Whether I'm doing a reading or checking in on somebody or checking in on something. One of the books that I really, really like is Animal Speak. It's an older book. Ted Andrews is the author. I know that we have several people who have websites that explain about what the animal symbolism is, what the spirit symbolism is, the message is when animals come into our life. So if you can't get the book, you can always go online and check out what the symbolism means. I started looking at the Ted Andrews book long time ago. My Reiki master, little Miss Joy, I love you, Joy. She introduced me to so many different books as I was learning about Reiki and the energy that it brings and all of that. And the Ted Andrews book, Animal Speak, was one of those books, and I absolutely love it. So in the book, it's called Animal Speak. It's the spiritual and magical powers of creatures great and small. And they talk about animal totems in the book and all of that. I'm not going to get so crazy because you could just go forever and ever on totems and the meanings and of all the different animals. But I picked a few out that, might be interesting to you. I say go get the book. You could still get it online, I'm pretty sure. And I'm trying to organize myself here. It's such a little space. So for me, I'm a Leo, and I like big cats. I like big cats with big paws. That means lion. And domestically, I like the Maine Coons. And the Maine Coons are very large cats. And they bring such great energy with their being. So when I look up the cat in the book, the keynotes for cat is mystery, magic, and independence. They say that whether domesticated or wild, anytime a cat becomes predominant, look for magic and mystery to come alive. And in fact, everything started to come alive when I got my first cat. When I moved onto my boat, and I was trying to decide when I lived aboard whether or not, it was a sailboat, whether or not I wanted a dog or a cat. And I knew if I had a cat, it had to be a large cat. And so that's when I looked at the Maine Coon breed. Anyway, so they say here, Ted says here, many books exist on the lore and the character of cats. Whether domesticated or wild, anytime a cat becomes predominant, look for magic and mystery to come alive. Now listen, it's true, because when I got my first cat, I was living aboard a boat, trying to decide whether I wanted a cat or a dog. Had to be either a small dog, not my favy, or a large cat, which was more attractive to me. And so that's when I started looking at the Maine Coons. And they are just phenomenal animals, really, really cool. All right, so that's for me. Everybody's got a different sign and all of that. I want to talk a little bit about let's go into the spider that we were talking about. So that client that had the fear of spiders, I was trying to explain to her that the keynote, the words connected to the spider are creativity and the weaving of fate. And I kept trying to remember what that connection was, something about grandmother spider. So I had to look it up. So I want to explain to you. I'm going to read a little bit, and it's right here. The spider. The spider is the master weaver. To the Native Americans, grandmother spider kept and taught the mysteries of the past and how they were affecting the future. Spider reminds us to awaken our own sensibilities to be more creative in life. And that's really, really important. If you're a creative soul and you're squishing or squelching that, it feels awkward, and it feels like, I don't know, like something's missing. It feels like something's missing. It's not a good feeling. So focus in on the creativity and don't get trapped in the web, right? Oh, one of the things, remember what I said about the client calling in the spider? Got to be careful about what you call in and the reasons why you call it in. And it's not like you're standing outside going, hey, spiders, come on out. It's not like that. Let me just read this other part here. If spider has come into your life, ask yourself some important questions. Are you not weaving your dreams and imaginings into reality? Are you not using your creative opportunities? Are you feeling closed in or stuck as if in a web? Do you need to pay attention to your balance and where you're walking in life? Are others out of balance around you? Do you need to write? Are you inspired to write or draw and not following through? Remember that the spider is the keeper of the knowledge of the primordial alphabet. Spider can teach how to use the written language with power and creativity so that your words weave a web around those who would read them. It's really a cool message. So pay attention to that if spider's been coming into your life, right? And try not to kill them if you can help it. I mean, I'm guilty as everybody else, but I try to put them outside. I don't like to squish things if I don't have to. There are a lot of birds. When you go through this Animal Speak book, there are a lot of birds in there. So when a bird comes into your life, it's not just about the bird as a bird. It's about what kind of bird. It makes a difference in what kind. So when we talk about the owl or the hawk or the little house wren or the cardinal, they all mean something different. They all have a different symbology. I remember when, just before my mom passed, a few years back, I had a visitation 2 nights in a row by an owl. The first night, it was outside a front window, and I heard the owl. And I've always, in my circle, I've always thought of the owl as a messenger of death. Well, it's not just a messenger of death. There are many belief systems. But for me, the owl knew that I would focus in on that type of message. And so I saw that owl, I heard that owl the one night, and I'm like, all right, I don't know what's going on and what's what. But I acknowledged its presence, and I didn't hear anything else, any clear message. Knowing that I didn't even think about mom passing, right? Even though I knew it was coming, didn't cross my brain. The following night, the biggest damn owl you ever want to see in your life hopped on a branch right outside my patio. And I mean, it was loud and it was big and it sat there and stared at me. And, I was like, holy crap. Okay, let's pay attention to this. Let's really pay attention to this. And I think it was probably 3 days later that I got message that my mom had passed. And I was so grateful for the owl being there. It was beautiful and weird and wild and wonderful all at the same time. And I honor that. I do honor that part. So I'm grateful for that. So pay attention to the owl. The keynote or the words connected to the owl, the mystery of magic, omens, silent wisdom, and vision in the night. Don't necessarily take on what it meant for me as a messenger of death, because it's not that for everybody. All right. So do a little research, figure out what it means for you. Okay. And then we had, recently somebody was having a thing. Oh, it was my landlords. They live right next door, and the hawks were building a nest, and there were so many flybys and so much beautiful connection with the hawk. The keynote or the words for the hawk are visionary power and guardianship. And when I stood out there and watched these 2 hawks out there, I believe they mate for life. I could be wrong on that one, And there are different types of hawks. And with the hawks, there are different meanings. Let me just read you this little bit about the hawk. The sky is the realm of the hawk. Through its flight, it communicates with humans and with the great creator spirit. It awakens our vision and inspires us a creative life purpose. So pay attention to the hawk. First of all, they're so beautiful. They're a beautiful bird of prey. And they're worth taking the time to pay attention to and listen in when that happens for you. I have a lot of elephants around my house, in little places, in nooks and crannies, but elephants are a really cool animal. Now, the keynote for the elephant is ancient power, strength, and royalty. So I did a trip several years back to Thailand. I spent a month in Chiang Mai studying traditional Thai massage and reflexology. And I mean, what an amazing trip. It was an amazing trip. And there was a connection to the elephants there, of course. They're there. There are national parks there. And did I like the way they were treated in that national park? No, I didn't. Did I go and ride on an elephant in the jungle? I did. There's a part of me that it's sad when the elephants are used in that way. It's sad. But and then again, I'm one of those that I don't like to go to a zoo because I don't like the animals in the cages. I don't like the animals to be trapped. It's just a thing for me. I don't appreciate it. I don't like it. I feel like we're in a situation now in our world where we can learn and have learned we don't need to continue to put things in cages. If there's an injured animal, you want to rescue it and let it be better and then release it. I understand that, but don't stink and put animals in cages. I can't stand it. Anyway, the elephant is such a beautiful creature. They're just so amazing, just absolutely amazing. I'm going to read just a little bit about the elephant. So elephants show great affection and loyalty to each other. The older calves will help younger siblings, and grown elephants will help sick or wounded comrades. If in the elephant are the ideals of true societies. Those who have the elephant totem will usually find themselves in a position where the opportunity to reestablish powerful family and societal ideals will occur. Mutual care of the young, respect for the elderly and the sick, being strong in your own self, these are the foundations of a great person or a great society. If the elephant has come to you, you will have the opportunity to work toward establishing this within your own life or the lives of others. If an elephant has come to you, prepare to draw upon the most ancient of wisdom and power. You will have an opportunity to either help yourself or others reclaim your most primordial royalty. I love the elephant. It's interesting, when I went on that trip and was able to connect directly to the elephant, it was amazing. And it was the beginning of my healing career with massage therapy and Reiki and all of that. And as it turns out, I've used those healing tools to help elderly and to help the unwell. So I don't know, maybe I was able to tap in a little bit to what they're talking about, what Ted Andrews is talking about here. All right, so we talked about the spider, we talked about the elephant, talked about the owl. There's so many. So again, the book is called, let's get this here. Again, the book, it's called Animal Speak. I use it a lot. The other thing I was going to talk about is snakes. You know, when I was younger, I used to be terrified of snakes. And as I got older, do I want to hold one? No. Do I want to pet one? No, I don't. But what I've learned about the snake is the importance of the symbolism of the snake, and that is about transformation, about rebirth. And typically, if a snake crosses your path, that means that change is coming, and it will usually happen pretty quick if a snake has crossed your path. That doesn't mean a snake has come to get you. It just means if you're walking along and, oftentimes we have the black racers a lot here. We have corn snakes, we have rattlesnakes, we have indigo snakes, we have a lot. And this being Florida, we have all of those pythons that have, sort of taken over our Everglades. There's some fascinating video on YouTube about that if you're interested. Check out the pythons being studied in our Everglades. It's crazy. But anyway, it can show you and bring to your attention about rebirth and transformation. Typically, it's going to come pretty quickly if a snake has crossed your path. So just try not to bring fear into it. Acknowledge it. Say hello. Say hello, and then move on. It is just a really cool thing. Again, do I want to hold a snake? Not really, but I have a great respect for what they do and what they are and what they symbolize. And so it's really important for us to remember that. And so don't squish the snakes if you don't have to. All right? Don't squish them if you don't have to. If you're in danger, I understand. But, everything has its purpose. All right, I'm going to set this to the side. I'm going to set that to the side. Now we're going to get into this week's. Again, I'm going to do the card pull for the week. I'm no angel, but I'm trying. Here's one of my little... I loved this little... It's one of the little ones that I got from Thailand, but I broke his trunk. And I put some kind of epoxy on it. I don't even know where I got that epoxy, but I didn't want to let go of it. And so this one hangs out here by my computer. Thank you. That card, before I even started to shuffle it, it really jumped out, and so did that one. So thank you. Thank you for that, Spirit. All right. Okay, so the first card that's coming up for this week, what are we in? We're almost in, let's see, this is Tuesday the 28th of February. This is going to be going from Tuesday through the following Sunday. I think that is the 5th of March. So the first card that came up, photograph your life. Make memories that will be embraced by all of your peeps. So if you get a chance and you're walking around and, hanging out, make sure that you either photograph it here, make it sink in here, or take a picture with your phone or your camera. Let me see. I'm hearing making marks in your life for remembrance. This is about remembrance. And not forgetting those things that are important to you along the way. It's like snapshots, right? Spirit's talking about snapshots, making sure that the snapshots stick with you. You know how it makes you feel when you look at a picture that, of yourself or of people who were in a happy place, and it makes you smile when you look at that picture. It brings you back to that memory, that feeling of how you felt at that time. It's why we take the pictures, so we have recall on those memories and that feeling of joy or whatever it is that we felt while we were having that picture taken. That's photographing. So you could photograph it here, or you can actually take a physical picture. Not picture, but picture. And what else with this one? bust out those photo albums. So Spirit showing me, I need to do more of that myself. But on this side, top shelf makes it harder for me to get to because I'm a little shit. But I have photo albums. But our world has changed with regards to photography. We don't get things printed out like we would take our little, roll of film down to the Walgreens or the whatever and to the drugstore and get our stuff processed. Now it's all digital. And so we look at our stuff online or on our computers or on our phones, which is great. I mean, it's just where we are now. But every now and again, I've got to pull those photo albums down and look at where I've been and study the history of where my life has taken me. And it makes me feel good. Especially when it's a time where it's difficult to get around because financially, I don't know about you guys, but I'm still pulling myself out of what happened in 2020. It's taken a moment. So I like going back and seeing the places that I've been and the things that I've done, and it makes me feel good. So you do the same thing. Photograph your life, either with a camera, with your phone, with your mind. Let those memories and those photographs get etched in your mind so that you can always go back and retrace them and make yourself, feel good about what it is that you've done. All right, second card for the week. Boo. Connect more with spirit. That doesn't mean you have to go to a haunted house. Just connect in the power that is spirit, and it's all you need. So, you need to do more listening this week. You need to do more listening. They're actually showing me like a knocking at the door, like knock, like they're trying to get your attention. All you have to do is stop and listen and have the conversation with spirit. Whether you feel them or not, it's okay. Not everybody can feel. Not everybody gets to see clairvoyantly or clairaudiently. You don't hear, but there's a knowing that you may have, like almost like a clairsentient. There might be a knowing that you have about who might be present for you. And you're probably right on the money. So when you're going through the week this week, call on your peeps. Ask for that connection. Ask for the signs and symbols that spirit can give you to help you acknowledge their presence. It's like picking up the old telephone, not the new things that we have, but the old dial-up, or, some of you are a little younger now. Some of you don't even know like what the dial phone was like. It was so crazy, and the party lines. Oh my goodness. Connect more with spirit. Talk to spirit more. Remember that it's not just about being in the physical, that it's also about being in the spiritual world, in the spiritual realm. Give them a chance to communicate with you. Yeah, and it doesn't mean you have to go out and go to a haunted house. You can if you want to, but spirit's right with you. I had a conversation about this with a client at the bed and breakfast. It's active where I work. It is active, meaning that there are spirits in that house, and they're kind of cool, and I appreciate them. But there was a client, he and his wife were headed in the upstairs, and he stopped to talk to me about St. Augustine and if there are hauntings and this and that. And I hesitated to tell him because not everybody wants to know that the place that they're staying at is active with spirit. Sometimes it freaks them out and they won't come back. And we don't want that. We want people to come back. So one of the things I reminded him is that if you're in a haunted house, or you're in a house that is active with spirit, active, it may not be the spirit connected to the house, it might be your peeps hanging out with you. So it might be your loved ones, making a fuss or making noise, or, flipping the lights or whatever, moving things. It might be your people on the other side doing this rather than somebody connected to the house. Keep that in mind. It's not always the house is haunted per se. It is also the people and the spirit that you bring along with you. It's weird. I haven't been posting videos because I have been just tired and beat up at the end of the day. So nothing's forever. It won't always be like that. And I'm working hard to get myself back to where I need to be. So that being said, I'm going to be accessible in the town of Jacksonville on the 11th and 12th of March. So coming up just here short of a couple of weeks, I'm going to be in Jacksonville, Florida at the Spirit Fest event. If you want to go on to spiritfestusa.com, that's spiritfestusa.com, I'll put the link to that site on this video, so you can click on there and see where the events are going to be. I'm going to have a booth there. I'll be doing readings there, and there are a lot of people that's selling crystals and books and just really cool things. You can get readings there. You can listen to I think they're going to have speakers there and stuff like that. So stop by. I'll put the address also in the link so that you have access to where it's going to be. It's not that expensive to get in, and you can buy a 2-day pass as well. So I would just say it's one of the better events. I've been to the big foo-foo one where the management just absolutely sucked body, mind, spirit. And it was atrocious how they acted and how they were managed. It was awful. I will never ever, unless management changes, I will never do another one of those again. But Spirit Fest, it is operated well. It is operated with good intention, and it's organized so that people are taken care of, not just the people coming in, but the vendors are also taken care of. So it's good to be a part of something like that, and I appreciate it. So if you get a chance, go on to spiritfest.com. Oh, pardon me. spiritfestusa.com, and check out the offerings that they'll have there, and where the upcoming events are going to be. So I will always try to, if I'm going to be a part of it, it's going to be either on my website or it will be on this YouTube channel. So listen, guys, I know it's been kind of a long one. I thank you for listening. I thank you for stopping by. You guys have a great rest of your day. Have a great week. Behave. Try not to get in trouble. And I will see you on the next time. All right? Peace.